Thank you, Iwan, and thank you, Sarah, for speaking to me. Congratulations on
Yeah.
this show. Really enjoying it. I'm gonna start by asking each of you, what was it like to find out that you were part of this? For example, Sarah, I'll start with you. What was it like getting that phone call or that email saying you've been cast?
Oh, yes. From the moment you do the self-tape for the audition to the day they tell you that's you, it was a bit of a journey. And obviously, I didn't want it to project myself too much into that character, not to be disappointed, but I wanted it. I just wanted it. And that's the moment I'm like, oh, thank God I'm not filmed, because I was at the time I just had moved house and I was refurbishing my house. So I was literally, in those big warehouse buying, brushes and paintings and everything, like not at all pimped. And then I had the phone call from my agent in the middle of that store, and I kind of cried. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. And then I left everything, and yeah, I've got it.
Iwan, obviously, we all know you that you are used to these kind of sprawling sagas and sort of films that take part in it. But this is more, I think this is the first one where you are really playing someone who could have existed. And what was it like to be cast in that role? And did you do any research, try and sort of work out what kind of person he would be?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I was absolutely over the moon, of course, to be playing the part, because I loved the script and to be everyone involved with it. It was something I was desperate to do. But yeah, so I think for me it was kind of I just suddenly thought I don't really know Roman history. I have a general idea of it, but I don't know how the city started and how all this stuff. So Dimitri, who plays Scorpus, said, "Oh, mate, there's a podcast called The History of Rome. A guy called Mike Duncan
Yeah,
does it."
I spoke to Dimitri about that. He did tell me.
Oh yeah, and so I
True.
got really into that, and so I kind of got to the point, the hundreds of years up until the point where Vespasian, and then I thought I don't really know it well enough, so I listened to it three times because there's a lot of traveling and there's
Yeah.
going to the set and stuff. So then I had an idea then of when who was the emperor when my character was born, who was the emperor when he was a teenager, and what kind of emperor they were, and what had been going on in Rome, and that helped me sort of signpost almost the moments in his life to that, because obviously he's gone from being a street kid who's homeless to being this like crime lord, and how's he done that, and that was what it was through history really that I got into that. So it was
Mm.
oh yeah, thanks Mike Duncan and Dimitri.
Yeah, Sarah, you're playing a character who's, I have to say, hand on heart, I've got to say, it's very close to my heart. As a Namedian myself, as a North African myself, but so that is very rarely shown in any of these sprawling sort of history sagas. And usually you get like sort of one character in passing that is shown as. But what was it like for you to sort of delve into this history of North Africa and find out who those people are?
Yes. Well, obviously, I couldn't dive really into that, and basically, it's about what about the people that arrive in another other country. It's like being an immigrant.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where, but yes, in Africa. But no, I was thrilled that this aspect of Rome was shown through my character, but also through the Corsi brothers coming from Spain. And it's like a ratatouille. Rome was one of the first big megalopole. And as any big city is made by all the layers of all the people of coming from many places. So no, we knew, because it, like you said, when you think about peplums and everything, it's all about those rich families dealing with politics. And so I was thrilled that through the journey of my character we could see more of what Rome was made of,
Mm.
as big megalopole.
Yeah. Iwan, I want to go back to what I was asking about before. Being personally a big Rome buff, this reminded me a lot of the HBO series Rome. Were you at all a fan of that? And did you go back and rewatch any? I know you talked about sort of listening to the podcast and trying to sort of absorb as much of that history as possible. Did you go back and watch any of these kind of iconic series?
Yeah, I watched Rome. Yeah, and of course, Gladiator.
Yeah,
which we are mentioning. Come on,
yeah.
It's a great film, and I'm very excited for the sequel. But yeah, and what else did I do? Started watching Claudius. I hadn't seen that.
Yeah.
Which is cool because that just happened to come back on the iPlayer one, and it was brilliant. It's so good. Derek Jacobi's immense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff. Yeah. What else is there? I must have watched something else as well. Yeah, but yeah, I really got into it.
Yeah. Let me ask you about your character because we used to play in the sort of villainous Ramsay Bolton. This guy here is not as villainous. He's not as psycho as Ramsay, but there is like an underlying of he's a kind of a nice guy, but doing very let's say naughty things. But how was it? Was it good for you to sort of be playing that kind of character and not someone completely bad, completely villainous?
Yeah. I think there's lots of wonderful layers to Tenax that are fun to. It's what he presents to the world. As he has to present this very hard, no sort of weakness persona in order to maintain. But then when he's private, you get to see, and with different relationships with different people, he's different with everyone, and that was really fun to play. But yeah, I mean, he's essentially a product of his environment. He's had a very tough life to get to where he is, and you can't do that without being incredibly ruthless. But he's just very good at sort of. He's a smooth operator. He can spin a lot of plates at the same time, and I think what's lovely with Kala is you start to then, as their relationship develops, you start to see a very different side to Tenax, which is something that even he's probably surprised at, this sort of vulnerability that's coming out. You see that he really does care.
Yeah. So Carla is a very interesting person. She's someone who just doesn't take no for an answer. She's forever sort of we see her in the scene where she finally sort of gets to meet your character, Iwan, and that she's bargaining with him, and she wants an answer from him. And what was it like playing someone like that? And is there anyone in sort of history that you would have based your character on?
I would base my character on many women that I know from my family. Because when it comes to their children, you can't compete them, and there's very, very strong, obviously, and most of it, life can bring many bad situations, but they never settle, never complains, never kneels. They just jump into the next solution, and that's why we call them strong women, so yeah, I think I can answer that.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey You Guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey You Guys!
Hey!